Beloved, November 13, 2018, in dreams, I saw that I was bringing the word of truth in Brazil. And when I finished, I began to see in different places how people gathered to debate what was said before. I saw a congregation, and there was a man there who was preaching, and another man was crying. The preacher was attacking the message of truth, and the other man was crying over this. Then I entered his church, and I couldn't contain myself. My mouth opened, and I began to say, wake up, don't continue sleeping in error. The Lord is coming, and you have to get ready. Why do you sleep with sermons that is not of benefit? Humble yourselves before God so that you may live and not perish. While doing this, I passed in front of a table that had 4 scholars seated. My hand was raised as if someone had raised it. And I said, the only thing they want is to keep their positions and economy. They care little about your salvation. Brothers, wake up. I went to the man who was crying, and I told him, do not cry anymore. Speak, and do not stop. Speak justice, and you will live. Then the 4 scholars went mad with rage and asked to detain the man who cried and me. Then at that moment, a strong man came in, and he fought with them, and we were able to get out of that place. Then I was taken to a place. It was a large building. There we entered, and I went to a huge room that had many controls and a huge screen. On the screen was the whole world. There was the world map, and at the controls, a woman. I saw how she received orders to work that world map through the controls. I saw the map, and it had an emblem, that of the Seventh-day Adventists worldwide, and a woman was handling it. And she looked at me and said, what are you doing here? And I answered, I was sent to wake up those you put to sleep. And she looked at me and said, cursed, I will destroy you. So she took the controls and made some adjustment in that world, which was on that screen. But I couldn't see what adjustments she made. At that moment, I was taken to another place, and I was washing some clothes in a house, and I saw how a helicopter came close, and for 3 times it approached. A lady was there with me in that place where I was washing clothes, and I told her, run, they're coming for us. So we came out running, and she, as much I told her to come with me, she went in another direction. And I entered a huge farm and started to run. And a man dressed as in a spacesuit followed me, and he came to me. When he arrived, he said, it's over with you now. But when he wanted to grab me, he couldn't with my force and could not hurt me. My companion appeared, and we left there from that place. Beloved, there is not much time. I was told at that moment, get ready, and do not look if there are many or few. If you are walking alone, continue without stopping to the top. So I began to climb the mountain, which I had in front of me with several people. And while I was going up, some complained and stayed, others crying, they turned, and others attacking in words and attitudes stood still. The order I was given was, go ahead and advance. So I went up the mountain with 2 or 3 persons, and there we saw, as in the plain, the mutations took their course. These mutations that were men transformed into the image of Satan destroyed everything in their path, and we were told not to go down to the plain until the appointed time. I saw how many parents cried when they saw their children mutated, and I saw some children also crying for their parents. That, beloved, was a painful separation of great suffering, but I was there already looking at all this, and their fate was already cast. So at that moment, beloved brothers, I saw how the love of God versus the love of the world, and therefore the love of Satan, had separated this, and nothing could be done. Then, beloved, I asked, but the loud cry has not yet been given. Will they have a chance? Then my companion answered me. They knew. They were instructed. They knew the law, and they had to decide. They decided for the world. For them is not the loud cry. Their time has passed. Beloved, at this moment I raised my voice and wept bitterly. My tears could not be contained. I saw many in that sad situation of death. My despair was such that I fell to the ground, and I said, "Oh Lord, this is already?" He said to me, "For the people who know, it is almost fulfilled. Tell them and exhort them, because the understood will understand, and those who wonder may be able to wake up. The time is extremely short for those who know, but you advance and do not stop, because in your march many will wake up." Dear brothers, my heart, my insides are moved by this situation that is happening with these words. May God grant that each of us can realize the time in which we are living, and that we can decide for Jesus Christ. If we do not decide for Christ Jesus, dear brothers, we will not have this world or the coming one, and the enemy will have been able to get away with it, having destroyed us forever, taking everything away from us. But if we decide for Jesus Christ and suffer a little here, we will reign there for eternity. May God grant, and it is my prayer, that each of us may decide for Jesus Christ. May the Lord bless you all.